Hello children, welcome to our English online class, Class 10, Unit 6, Biodiversity, Grammar, Non-Finite Clauses. Children, there are two types of clauses mainly. There are finite clause, non-finite clause. So what are finite clauses? Finite clauses must contain a verb which shows tense. They can be main clauses or subordinate clauses. So finite clause in that they may be in the main clauses or subordinate clauses. The verb shows the tense. Okay. Is it raining? So raining sorry, here is the means present tense. Main clause is present tense. I spoke to Rahul last night. Spoke is the tense, past tense. So this is the finite clause because spoke is the past tense. We didn't get any tickets because we didn't have enough time. So here main was didn't is the past and subordinate is past. We didn't have. Okay, didn't get. Okay, non-finite clauses. Non-finite clauses contain a verb which does not show tense. So children, in the finite clause the verb shows tense, and in the non-finite verb has no tense. We usually use non-finite verbs only in subordinate clauses. So non-finite verbs are used in mainly in subordinate clauses, but the finite are used either in the main or in the subordinate clause. We usually understand the time referred to from the context of the main clause. Because it's used in the subordinate clause, we can know the tense by seeing the main clause. We often use a non-finite clause when the subject is same as the subject in the main clause. So when is non-finite clause is used? When the subject is same in the main clause and in the subordinate clause. Okay children, clear? So see this some examples. I had something to eat before leaving. So before leaving, I had something to eat before I left. So before leaving is the clause, non-finite clause. After having spent 6 hours at the hospital, they eventually came home. So they eventually came home is the main clause. But when they reached home after having spent 6 hours at the hospital, from hospital having spent 6 hours. So this is the subordinate clause and this is the non-finite clause. He left the party and went home, not having anyone to talk to. So here simply we can say he left the party and went home. After the party was completed, he might have gone home, we'll think. But after seeing this clause, not having anyone to talk to, because here it's the subordinate clause, means because there was no one to talk, he went home. This is the subordinate clause and non-finite clause. The person to ask about going to Andaman is John. The person who is talking is John, is the main. But what he is about, he is talking about how to go to Andaman. It is a non-finite clause. Next, you have to look at the picture really carefully in order to see all the details. So you have to look at the picture is the main clause, and in order to see all the details is the subordinate clause. It is in the non-finite form. The verb with tense is known as finite verb, and the clause that has a finite verb is known as finite clause. So children, is it clear? The verb which shows the tense, which has the tense, is called finite verb, and the clause is the finite clause. In the same way, the verb that has no tense is known as non-finite verb, and the clause is called non-finite clause. So in simple words, a verb with tense is finite verb and the clause is finite clause, and verb without tense is non-finite verb and non-finite clause. Non-finite clauses. We know that we have two types of clauses as we have already read, finite clauses and non-finite clauses. Now let us look at from the textbook. Look at the following examples. Wangari Maathai led the movement. She won the Nobel Prize. So here led means past tense of lead and won is past tense of win. Next, leading the movement Leading the movement, Wangari Maathai won the Nobel Prize. So see, there's some slight difference in between both the sentence. In the example one, there are two sentences. Seema, Wangari Maathai led the movement is one sentence and she won the Nobel Prize is the second sentence. There is a verb in each sentence and each verb has tense. Tense marker. See, led is past tense of lead, won past tense of win. So we can identify the tense of the verbs by looking at them. By simply looking at them, we can know what tense is. Both of them are in past tense. Led is past tense and won is past tense, since they are written in V2 form. Okay, led and won. These are called finite verbs as they have tense. Here led and won are past tense. We got to know the tense. So these are called finite verbs and those phrases are called finite phrases. Whereas in example 2, there are two clauses. Leading the movement. Here no tense leading the movement, and Wangari Maathai won the Nobel Prize. The verb in the first clause has no tense, while the one in the second clause has tense, that is past tense. Seema, one is past tense and leading is no tense. That's why it is non-finite clause. Okay. So children, as we have learned, the verb with tense, simply the verb with tense is finite verb and the clause is finite clause, and the verb which has no tense is non-finite verb. No, non. Okay, non-finite verb and the clause is non-finite clause. Non-finite clause depends on the finite clause for its tense. So non-finite clause, since it doesn't have tense, it depends on the finite clause for its tense. So leading the movement, Wangari Maathai won the Nobel Prize. So leading the movement, here it's a non-finite clause because leading is not having tense. One is the past tense, so it is finite clause. We should note that a non-finite clause has no subject and we only can decide the tense of a non-finite clause from the finite clause. See here, no subject is there. Only by seeing the finite clause we know whether it's what is the tense there. Okay, so now children, underline the non-finite clauses in the following sentences. Okay, Seema, born in London, he became the citizen of UK. So here, born in London is a non-finite clause. Next, having done his homework, he went out to play. We can just say he went out to play. It's past tense. But here, having done his homework, it doesn't have tense. So it is non-finite clause. Having done his homework. Next, recognized by his boss, he got an appreciation letter. He got an appreciation is past tense. Here, no tense. So recognized by his boss. Okay. Now, encouraged by his father, Ravi got distinction in his final examination. This is the main clause. Ravi got distinction in his final examination. But how? Encouraged by his father. This is the non-finite clause. Now, with the tree grown tall, we get more shade. So, with the tree grown tall, here it is the non-finite clause. We get is the tense. So, it is finite. We left the room and went home to search for the books. So, we left the room and went home to search. We left the room. It's the main clause. Went home for what? To search for the books. To search for the books is the infinite clause. Okay. Next one. Do we have the money to buy that car? So simply, do we have money is the main, and for what? To buy that car is the non-finite one. We were not able to get away until now. Get away. We were not able to is the main, and this is the subordinate and non-finite clause. Having read the book, I returned it to the library. We can say I returned it to the library. But here, having read the book means after reading the book. So this is the non-finite clause here. Jumping on his horse, the farmer rode to the market. We can say the farmer wrote it, but how jumping on his horse, here it's not showing tense, so jumping on his horse is the non-finite clause. Now children, observe how the following sentences have been rewritten to include non-finite clauses. These are from your textbook only, ma. These examples are. Okay. So, Vincent van Gogh, who was born in Holland in 1853, is one of the world's most famous painters. So, Van Gogh, who was born in Holland in 1853, is one of the world's most famous painters. So now how can we change? Born in Holland in 1855, Vincent van Gogh is one of the most famous painters. So without this also, this Vincent van Gogh is one of the world's famous painters makes sense, but is adding and it has no tense. So born in Holland is the non-finite clause. Although his talent was unrecognized throughout his life, it was much appreciated after his death. So, although unrecognized throughout his life, his talent was much appreciated after his death. But here, although unrecognized is the non-finite clause. After he had failed in every career he had attempted, Van Gogh first turned to art to express his strong religious feeling. So, having failed in every career he had attempted, Van Gogh first turned to art to express his strong feelings. So, having failed in every career is the non-finite clause here. Now children, rewrite the following sentences to include non-finite clauses. So here are some sentences. First I'll read out these for you and next I'll give the answers. Okay children. After he had decided to become a painter in about 1880, he started to paint studies of peasants and miners. Next. Second, during the next few years, which are known as his Dutch period, he produced paintings with rather dark greenish to brown colors. In 1886, when he went to Paris to visit his brother Theo, he was immediately attracted to the impressionist work he saw there. He decided to stay in Paris and continued his paintings there. He was encouraged by Pissarro to use more color in his pictures, and his subsequent paintings were bright and immensely colorful. After Van Gogh had moved to Arles in south of France in 1888, he worked frantically. This frenzied activity, which was interrupted by bouts of deep depression and despair, produced the majority of his most famous paintings. One of these, which is called Self-Portrait with Bandaged Ear, shows Van Gogh. He was wearing a bandage after he had cut off his ear. A year later, in 1890, he committed suicide. A lot is known about Van Gogh's life and his feelings because of the hundreds of letters which were written by him to his brother Theo and others. His brother always encouraged him in his work because he believed in Van Gogh's genius. He was the person closest to Van Gogh. So children, let's have the answer. Having decided to become a painter in about 1880, he started to paint studies of peasants and miners. Here, having decided to, the underlined part is the non-finite clause. During the next few years, known as Dutch period, he produced paintings with rather dark greenish to brown colors. Next few years, known as Dutch period. Next, in 1886, after going to Paris to visit his brother Theo, after seeing and immediately getting attracted to the impressionist work he saw there, he decided to stay in Paris and continued his paintings there. So, after seeing and immediately getting is a non-finite clause. Encouraged by Pissarro to use more color in his pictures, his subsequent paintings were bright and immensely colorful. So, here encouraged by Pissarro is the non-finite clause. Having moved to Arles in the south of France in 1888, Van Gogh worked frantically. Having moved to Arles is the non-finite clause. Interrupted by bouts of deep depression and despair, this frenzied activity produced the majority of his famous paintings. Here, interrupted by bouts of deep depression. Next, one of these, called Self-Portrait with Bandaged Hair, showing Van Gogh, is a non-finite clause, wearing a bandage after cutting off his Here committed suicide a year later in 1890. A lot is known about Van Gogh's life and his feelings because of the hundreds of letters written by him. Written is the non-finite. By him to his brother Theo and others. Believing or believed in Van Gogh's genius, his brother, the closest person to Van Gogh, always encouraged him in his work. The closest person to Van Gogh is the non-finite clause. Okay children, hope you understood well. Okay, thank you.